California, the land of golden sunshine, blue oceans, and the American dream. But behind the glitz and glamour lies a deadly dark side. Places where nature unleashes its fury. Destinations not meant for the faint of heart. Lands where one wrong step could be your last. In today's video, we'll uncover the 10 most dangerous places in California, where science stops and fear begins to speak. Are you ready? Don't forget to like this chilling series and subscribe so you won't miss the next mysterious journey. And most importantly, make sure you're watching this from a safe place. Rank 10, Trona Pinnacles, an alien land in the heart of the desert. In the heart of the barren Mojave Desert lies a land that looks as if it was plucked straight from a distant planet. Massive limestone spires, jagged, dark, stacked like the ruins of an alien civilization. Not a soul in sight, not a sound to be heard, only wind, dust, and the eerie feeling that you no longer belong to this world. But don't let its surreal beauty fool you. Trona Pinnacles is a natural trap, where daytime temperatures soar past 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit, and the nights chill you to the bone. There's no cell signal, no water source, no city lights. Getting lost means vanishing. Those who dare to venture deep into its core alone often return pale-faced, eyes wide with terror, because they've heard unexplainable sounds or seen shadowy figures standing motionless in the desert. Some people never return. Trona Pinnacles, where space, time, and life itself seem to warp. You can go there to explore, but remember, not all silence is peaceful. Some silence is a final warning. Rank 9, Salton Sea, a dead sea in the heart of California. There was once a place in California hailed as a vacation paradise. A vast shimmering lake, endless blue skies, sun-drenched beaches filled with laughter. But today, that place is a forgotten nightmare. Salton Sea, the Dead Sea in the heart of the Golden State. On the surface, the lake still sparkles under the sun. But don't let appearances deceive you. Beneath the water lies a toxic cocktail of pesticides, minerals, and industrial waste. The salt concentration here is 50 times higher than the ocean. No fish, no living creatures, only the remains of millions of dead fish, birds, and sometimes people. Every year during scorching summer days, the lake releases a stench of death, a choking, putrid odor so intense that entire nearby towns are forced to evacuate. Death here doesn't come with fire or wind. It comes through slow, silent decay, day after day. Those who approach the shoreline all describe the same unsettling feeling, as if something beneath the surface is watching every step. Abandoned photos, playgrounds buried in dust, rotting piers, all paint a picture of the apocalypse. A place where time itself feels trapped between life and extinction. Salton Sea is no longer a place for leisure. It's where you confront the collapse of humanity itself. Because sometimes disaster doesn't need to explode. It only needs you to look away. Rank 8, Donner Pass, a blood-stained scar in American history. Amid the icy peaks of the Sierra Nevada lies a place where American history still bleeds. A mountain pass filled with snow, wind, and an unnamed curse. Donner Pass. It sounds like an ordinary stop in the Californian wilderness. But this place has swallowed dozens of lives, leaving a scar on the map of America that will never heal. In the winter of 1846, the Donner Party, over 80 pioneers, left Illinois, chasing dreams of a promised land out west. But along the way, early snowstorms hit, temperatures plummeted, and the entire group became trapped in the pass. No food, no escape, no one coming to save them. And then, survival came at the most horrifying price: cannibalism. The living fed on the dead. Each day another didn't wake up, and each night the wind howled through the pines like the cries of souls left behind. Today, Donner Pass is a tourist stop, complete with highways, train lines, and lodges. But every time the snow begins to fall, locals still whisper, "Don't stop your car here after sunset." Not everyone made it through that winter. Some travelers report hearing knocks on their tents at midnight, but when they open them, no one is there. Shadowy figures drift silently through the foggy trees, and in the biting wind a whisper, "I'm cold, let me in." Donner Pass, not just a testament to human endurance, but a place where mankind reached the darkest edge of survival and stared into its own abyss. Would you dare cross where hunger once turned men into monsters? Rank 7. Venice Beach at night. By day, Venice Beach is a paradise of sun and surf. By night, it becomes an entirely different world. Located in the heart of Los Angeles, Venice Beach is famous for its golden sands, street performers, skateboards, music, and a carefree spirit. But when the sun sinks into the Pacific Ocean and shadows stretch across the sidewalks, this place turns into an urban jungle, where rules vanish and primal instincts take over. Drugs, violence, homelessness, and even crime all hide behind a mask of art and freedom. Police have described it bluntly. After 10 p.m., Venice Beach becomes a city with no control. Behind the art shops and cafes lie alleyways and makeshift camps, places where things are bought, sold, and sometimes people disappear without a trace. One tourist recounted, "I was just walking along the beach at 11 p.m., then woke up in a hospital with no memory of what happened." Brazen robberies, stabbings, and unexplained deaths, often brushed off with the same tired phrase, "Probably just an accident." But in the darkness, whispers linger. There's something out there, something that doesn't belong to this world, wandering the beach after nightfall. Laughter with no source, still figures watching, then vanishing into the sea fog. Is it just imagination? Or does Venice Beach truly have two faces, one of sunlight and one swallowed by the dark? Venice Beach. When the lights go out, will you keep walking? Or will you become just another name on the list of those who took a nighttime stroll and never came back? Rank 6. Oroville Dam, a giant water bomb waiting to explode. Hidden deep in the mountains of Northern California lies a silent giant holding its breath. Oroville Dam, the tallest earthen dam in the United States, holding back more than 4.3 billion cubic meters of water. But what's being held isn't just water. It's a dormant rage, waiting for the right moment to erupt. In February 2017, Oroville came terrifyingly close to becoming a national catastrophe. Days of heavy storms pushed the reservoir beyond its limit. And then, the emergency spillway cracked open, torn apart as if by an invisible force, sending hundreds of thousands into a frantic, hours-long evacuation. Experts warned, if Oroville breaks, the entire Sacramento Valley could be wiped out in just a few hours. A wall of water, over 60 meters tall, would come crashing down, wiping out homes, bridges, roads, and lives. Everything. Since that near disaster, the government has poured hundreds of millions of dollars into repairs and reinforcements. But for those living nearby, the fear never left. Because Oroville doesn't just face extreme weather, it also sits dangerously close to an active fault line. One strong enough earthquake could be the spark that detonates this massive water bomb. And one question still hangs in the air unanswered. Is Oroville a triumph of engineering, or just a water trap disguised in concrete and blind faith? When you stand atop the dam, looking down at the peaceful waters below, remember, the calmest surface often hides the most violent storms. Oroville, California's silent monster. One more crack, and it could rewrite history in water, in mud, and in sheer terror. Rank 5. Angeles National Forest, where people vanish without a trace. Less than an hour's drive from downtown Los Angeles lies a dense, ancient forest, and it's not for the faint of heart. Angeles National Forest. Pristine, cool, and breathtaking, with hundreds of trails, waterfalls, and scenery straight out of a movie. But beneath that peaceful surface lies one of the most mysterious disappearance zones in America. Over 100 unsolved missing persons cases, many of them vanishing just a few hundred meters from parking lots. No clues, no blood, no phones, no footprints. Just gone. Search teams have reported hearing screams in the dead of night, but never being able to trace where they came from. Some survivors speak of seeing something standing motionless among the trees. Tall, silent, and nothing like a human. A former park ranger, speaking anonymously in an interview, confessed, "We were ordered not to talk about the disappearances. And there are certain zones, they call them silent areas, where compasses fail, GPS glitches out, and radios go completely dead." Some amateur investigators believe there's something supernatural at work. Others think the real danger might be human. None of the cases have ever been fully solved. The files remain open. The families still wait. And the forest still stands silently swallowing every answer. Angeles National Forest, a place where going in is far easier than getting out. If you dare to explore, leave a clear trail behind. Because you might just be the next name on the list of those who never returned. Rank 4, San Andreas. Fault, the giant death crack beneath your feet. It lies right beneath the ground you walk on, but you won't know it's there until everything collapses in seconds. The San Andreas Fault, a massive geological fracture stretching over 200 kilometers, slicing through California from north to south like a silent blade. A wound in the earth that never truly heals, constantly shifting, always ready to tear a city in half. Seismologists call it the sleeping monster. But the terrifying part is, this monster doesn't sleep forever. The last time it truly stirred was in 1906. The San Francisco earthquake, which claimed over 3,000 lives, destroyed 80% of the city and etched scars that still remain on California's skin today. But that was only the first warning. Scientists now predict that in the coming decades, the big one will strike. A mega-earthquake potentially reaching magnitude 8.0 or higher, powerful enough to obliterate the entire Southern California metropolitan area, from Los Angeles to San Diego. It's not a matter of if it happens, but when. And the scariest part? The San Andreas Fault doesn't shake often. It builds silently, then unleashes all its fury in a single catastrophic moment. In less than 60 seconds, millions could be plunged into chaos, ruin, and death. Some experts even believe part of California may eventually slip away from North America altogether. In a few 100,000 years. Urban legend? Or a process already in motion, just waiting for history to end with one earth-shattering jolt? San Andreas Fault, the real danger isn't what's on the surface. It's the false sense of safety we live in every day. Because nature doesn't kill out of rage. It kills when we're not prepared. Rank 3. El Camino Real, the Road of Death. This isn't just a road connecting ancient missions. It's a corridor of blood, sorrow, and restless souls. El Camino Real, the Royal Road, stretches over 1,000 kilometers, winding along California's coastline from San Diego to San Francisco. Built in the 18th century, it served as the main artery of Spanish colonization, linking 21 Catholic missions scattered across the state. Sounds sacred and civilized? Not even close. Behind those stone walls lies a chapter of history drenched in blood. Exploitation, oppression, torture, and mass death of native peoples. Thousands of indigenous men, women, and children were enslaved, starved, infected, or executed right along this very road. Along parts of El Camino Real, locals speak of bloody kilometers, stretches of highway where bodies were buried without names or gravestones. Drivers have reported seeing a lone figure in a white robe, head bowed low, slowly walking, only to vanish as the car draws near. Residents living near old missions say, at night, the bells ring by themselves, though no one is there. There's chanting in a language no one recognizes. Sometimes, the sound of a crying child drifts in from the woods. Some scoff and say it's just stories to scare children. But mysterious car accidents continue to happen along this route, especially near the old missions. Sudden swerves, failed brakes, GPS going haywire, and at times, drivers swear they felt someone sitting behind them, even though they were alone. El Camino Real is not just a road of history. It's a road haunted by the ghosts of history that refuse to rest. You may drive on it, but be sure you're the only one behind the wheel. Rank 2, Death Valley, where life has no place. This land is not meant for life, and there's no room for mistakes. Death Valley. The name sounds like something pulled from a post-apocalyptic horror tale, but it's real, and it's one of the harshest, most unforgiving places on Earth. Temperatures here have reached 56.7 degrees Celsius, the highest ever recorded on modern Earth. One wrong step, one careless moment, one empty water bottle, And you could become the next chapter in the valley's deadly legacy. Yet strangely, people are drawn here. Adventurers, explorers, photographers, and some who leave but never return. Some have been found reduced to bone beside a stalled jeep, just a few kilometers from the nearest gas station. Others vanish among the jagged rocks. No tracks, no messages, no signs. Police are baffled. GPS fails, and time itself seems to stop in the burning silence. And then, there's the mystery that chills even the most skeptical. The rocks that move themselves. On cracked, sun-baked ground, massive stones, some weighing hundreds of kilograms, leave behind long trails, as if something or someone drags them through the night. Locals whisper of an ancient warning. If you hear a voice calling you in the desert night, don't answer. That voice doesn't belong to the living. Death Valley isn't just a furnace of nature. It's a place where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs into something haunting. It's not the number of deaths that makes this place terrifying. It's how death arrives. Quietly, without warning, without reason, without goodbye. You're welcome to explore. Just make sure you're ready to survive. Rank 1. Alcatraz, the prison of restless souls. Amid the thick fog of San Francisco Bay, a small island rises silently from the water. No trees, no life. Just cold, lifeless stone walls, isolated in the freezing sea. That place, they call it Alcatraz, one of the most infamous and merciless prisons in American history. From 1934 to 1960, it held some of the most notorious criminals of the 20th century. Al Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly, and Robert Birdman Stroud. There was no mercy, no redemption, only total isolation, behind steel bars and the unending sound of cold waves crashing against the rock. They called Alcatraz the island you can't escape, and to this day, no one has ever proven otherwise. But the prison has long been shut down. So what still frightens people about this place? It's the unexplained supernatural mysteries that linger. Many who have spent the night on the island, including guards and researchers, have reported, "I heard chains dragging across the stone floor. Someone was breathing right next to my ear, but the cell was empty." A mandolin played from Al Capone's cell, even though no one was allowed inside. And worse, some have fled in panic, screaming into the night, "He's here! He won't let me leave!" To the outside world, Alcatraz is a historic landmark. But to the souls still trapped inside, it remains a prison, with no sentence and no release date. Alcatraz didn't just imprison criminals, it locks away the nightmares of mankind. And if there's any place in America where you might feel watched even when you're just breathing, it's here, on Alcatraz Island. Do you dare set foot on that island after dark? 10 places, 10 nightmares made real in the heart of California. From deathly fault lines waiting to rupture to islands where darkness never leaves. California isn't just the land of dreams, it's also the stage for real-life nightmares. And the scariest part? Every one of these places still exists. And you can walk right into them at any moment. If you found this video gripping, don't forget, like to help this video reach more viewers. Comment below. Which place gave you the chills? Subscribe to uncover more terrifying, mysterious journeys. Not for the faint of heart. See you in the next video. But remember, if you ever visit any of the places on this list, look around carefully and ask yourself, are you really alone?